Hello again, I'm Peter French, trying to fit my passion for the sales process into just 2 by 15-minute videos. But it probably won't happen, and so it might work out that the subject has to attract 3 implementation videos. Sorry about that. In this implementation video, I want to bring to your attention a method of continually understanding and qualifying of energy and funds expended on a suspect or on a sales project. The prioritization of enterprise change projects to influence both behavior and cost, and lastly, how to prioritize in such a dispassionate way that it could be nearly objective reasoning. The questions are, do I want to do business with you, and do you want to do business with me? Qualifying a prospect uses questions that need to be asked right through the sales pipeline process, because as we go out in time, the answers we got previously may have changed. If you don't qualify thoroughly, you'd be a maniac to believe that your sales process will produce profitable, consistent, and repeatable revenue. So let's look at a mnemonic to remind us what we need to question. Money. And here we don't mean, do you have any money? Because the answer will be invariably, yes, of course. But it could be other demands on this budget allocated to support this project. Or even, I know you own this budget, but is there another authority that has to concur with your decision before the actual funds can be committed? Remember, budgets can't be banked, and when the budget owner goes to another to ask for permission to spend the funds, someone else has a say in your sales project going ahead. Authority. Strange enough, potential prospects may lie. Often the persona decider represents themselves as a signer, or as in, I decide on this solution and I sign the contract. They even stop you going around them to others in the buying center. A set of questions needs to be delivered and trained to conform and get past the persona we are talking to, so that we can evaluate the positive or negative influence of others. For example, I realize you will make the decision to engage, but are there others whose opinion you value and may consult in this process? Need is a sales project consists of a greater productivity or lower costs, which is a gain project, or a project to fix a problem, which is a pain project. Gain projects require that you cover all of the buying center, so that you're aware of how each persona defines and agrees to the gain for the organization. Their opinion on this gain project may be informed by competing projects. If their influence or authority is greater than your supporter, then the gain project may never close or stretch out into infinity. Enthusiasm. All salespeople are by nature enthusiastic, but the most about their most recent opportunity. Their short-term concentration span is just that, very short, and so the most recent and not the most important get the current energy and attention. Customers also have this short attention span. They believe, with great enthusiasm, that the very last salesperson to leave their office is the one. Areas of uniqueness. If the only difference a prospect can find between the various offered solutions is price, then that will be the way they make their decision. However, selling is about understanding the prospect's needs and managing their perception of us in a way that they perceive that irrespective of the price, they will receive a greater value for their expenditure for themselves if they engage with our solution. Commitment. An analogy may be that the difference between enthusiasm and commitment is that the hen, as it clucks and fluffs its feathers as she lays our breakfast egg, she's enthusiastic about breakfast, but the pig has to give its life to provide the bacon for breakfast. That is commitment. Hard to determine, but absolutely crucial to understand that the sales project will close and that the persona in question will go to bat for us. In other words, after determining they want to award the contract to us, they will aggressively protect that decision against all naysayers. Timing. Salespeople fall in love with opportunities and just cannot say no. If the opportunity is for next year in time, then emphasize this year's closing activities rather than projects which may not support this year's performance. Size is important as it can choke or overcommit support structures and may even be business to which we should say no. Size can swallow the disproportionate energy when a number of smaller and easier opportunities can make our year's number. I've seen huge orders celebrated with crates of champagne also almost sink a company as they experience severe indigestion during the delivery phase. Build the questions and run the role plays. Certify and test your salespeople or your customer-facing people and prepare them for the work of selling. If it's not about pitching up in the correct dress at the correct time and just lucking out. How can we as managers help salesmen with some very atypical behavior characteristics? By understanding these counterproductive habits and watching for them and guiding the individuals through them. They fall in love. A lot of salesperson time is spent dreaming, visualizing how they'll close an opportunity and how that will make them a hero. These fantasies lead to disruptive behavior, such as too much effort for too little return, refusing to cut your losses and move on, giving even when that activity is not required to advance the progress of an opportunity, and many other knee-jerk reactions. A shiny object syndrome. It comes from their need to take a very basic offering that satisfies the client's stated needs and enhance that with new and unwanted features which they deliver in the mistaken belief that it differentiates them from the opposition. But it only serves to confuse the client. I've actually seen a salesperson deliver an oratory on a much needed but unasked for feature that they failed to hear the prospect say that they had bought from somebody else. I'm liked. Yeah, a training video of John Cleese showed him having tea with the CEO, which was interrupted by the secretary bringing in some paperwork for him to sign. After the interruption, the CEO complained about all the PCs they were buying. Whereupon John said, "You know, of course, that our company provides personal computers." "Oh," says the CEO, "I didn't know that. I thought all you guys did was provide maintenance." John's character didn't like bringing up a subject that may appear to be aggressive or challenging, and so consequently was happy to visit and spend the company's cost of sale and stay in his comfort zone rather than hunt for work. Inappropriate contact. It's not what you think. It's about having no plan that drives outcomes from the client contact. During contact just for the sake of doing contact. Contact is only about leaving value for the client, but timing is excruciatingly important. Collateral given out of some habit, in the first meeting even, could end up in file 13, the trash. but delivered at just the right moment, it can become the silent sales resource it is meant to be. Death Valley, waiting for an order, lack of contact through fear takes the foot off the gas at the most important stage of the sale. So contact must be planned, value delivered, timed and influence exerted correctly to be large and in charge as the client finalizes their decision. Big is best. Big consumes disproportionate resources. Management resources, engineering, and influences are overused, while small deals are overlooked and even feel ignored. Multiple small deals, easy to deliver with good revenues, and margins are easily to assimilate by the organization, while big ones attract all the sharks in a feeding frenzy, and when we, or if we win, they sometimes could give us indigestion. This has to be a firm and thought through business process and strategy, not an emotional gene-jerk one. They need your help and direction. Drinking tea with a customer to try and build rapport with them, in the hope they will sense some kind of personal commitment and relationship with us, which may result in business, is a fallacy. It's just spending cost of sale without, or with little chance of, producing a profitable outcome. A business meeting has two objectives: to bring customer perceived value to the table and have a defined agenda outcome that moves the business relationship forward. In our personal lives, our life, defined by this green circle, uses the three attributes of our values, which defines the what we are, or essence, of who we are. This reflects in the vision we derive of where we're going. These attributes have an outcome when we fall in love with someone to produce the why of our lives, commonly known as the 5 W's. The why of our work encompasses our life and is the outcome or the product of our life. That why is the reason for what we produce, our work, and it translates into stuff we deliver to those loved ones. Our responsibilities, our health insurance, homes, picket fences, education, all of those things. However, in business, we have a completely different relationship with our prospective customers than those whom we love and who love us in the personal dynamic. Many entrepreneurial leaders define themselves by their work, and that is why many coaching sessions start with some definition of the person, because though you're understanding, through your understanding of your values, the vision of where we are going helps us to define the purpose of our product, the business entity that we are creating, being structured to produce and serve a prospective customer and produced lasting mutual value. So when we deliver this value to our prospective customer, we gain credibility and trust, which produces in them a desire to build a relationship with us. When a prospect or customer opens up to us and invites us to participate in fixing their business problem, that relationship has very deep and mutually profitable outcomes. In our experience, this has nothing to do with the size or value or elapsed time of the sales process. It is as valid in retail, selling lipsticks, consumables, consumer items, to high-ticket items like mainframe computers. Our focus as individuals and the enterprise is in delivering prospective, perceived value, to earn the right, as they say in rugby league, to go wide, to own the waterfront relationship with this client. So where do we begin? We start by creating an understanding of context. We may have a good understanding of the areas of the business or the sales process that needs some systemization. These should attract development projects that will create the systems to drive quality, quantity, and repeatability. We have seen customers at this point who have one huge compelling project that make all other projects pale into insignificance. We've also seen those that have a long list as your arm that define what is wrong with the business. The danger in these two opposing views is that a huge all-consuming project sucks up management time, takes the eye off the ball, while being so important that it tends to get scope creep and the project never finishes. A long list of projects becomes the elephant in the room and are also too numerous to start. And where do we start? And the net result, the teams are paralyzed and no projects even get started. What is needed is a way to sift out the also-ran projects to a manageable list and to prioritize the resultant list to those that will make the biggest difference. For this work, we use the context tool. Draw a cross on a whiteboard and gather a team around to exercise their collective wisdom. This cross is just an arbitrary figure, except for the high and low poles of impact. Impact is defined first, but the group understanding of impact should conform to tactical projects, those that can be accomplished this financial year. They are low-hanging fruit projects that, through their delivery, will make immediate change happen. Choose any project and place it on the intersection of the cross. Now, relative to this project, the next one, randomly chosen, does it have a higher or lower impact? Then, used over and over again to all the projects already on the cross, find the higher or lower levels of each new project relative to those that are already there. Now, prioritize the same projects but with importance as the criteria. Importance is more strategic than impact, and our project that just must be in our business over the long term for our business to succeed. Now we have a prioritized list representing impact and importance, and we can start populating this Boston grid against the two axes of importance and impact. Wow, I hope that was not too much. What have we accomplished? We have understood the basic question that sales staff must be qualifying a sales project using the MANIACS acronym. This is coupled to management's evaluation of the quality of understanding that salespeople have of their prospects through one-on-one evaluation. We look for the destructive habits that easily form and are difficult to break, but continually checking for them, highlighting them, and certifying our staff not to unconsciously form and reinforce them. I hope that the difference between personal delivery and business delivery makes sense, because given this understanding, every prospective client or customer interaction will be delivered so it builds client perspective of value and rapport. Finally, a method to prioritize impact and importance so that we can start delivering projects that create substantial and sustained change in our organization. We understand that unless we do something of value, that can be sustained in the organization, nothing will change. Our coaching and mentoring sessions are just a pleasant diversion, but enterprise value is left in the air.